Hey guys, Amanda here with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth about HOTshot trucking. Boy, do I have a treat for you tonight. Are you ready? Get a load of this.
Hello.
It's my husband. He's home. He got home at 2 o'clock this morning, and he's so tired, and I'm really excited that he's home. So I'm making him do a video with me tonight, and we're going to talk about 3 more topics. We're going to give you the real deal feel here. All right, so let's jump into it. First topic on the list tonight is canceled loads and tonneaus. Oh boy. So twice now we've had it happen where I've had our entire week set up, which I'm like, sweet, I can go do things and we're extra prepared and I can do fun stuff with kids during the week after school. Well, nothing is easy in this business, and I have had the load that links all of our other loads for the week that minimizes all the deadhead cancel on us. Sweet! And when you have a smaller HOTshot setup like us, 25, 30-foot trailer, it can be really challenging to find a load that will make up for the one that just got canceled. So, the 2 times that it happened, I was not successful in finding another load to link them back together. So my poor husband, the first time it happened, I think you had to go from Illinois to Wisconsin.
Well, I want to throw in there also, this was on their end. Everything checked out on our end. We got there and the dimensions were wrong. It was either between the shipper or the broker. Somebody had messed up with the paperwork or the dimensions of the size of the product, and that was the issue we ran into both times.
Yes, not our fault. We had our ducks in a row and they didn't. Yes.
It's hard to negotiate tonneau when it's your fault. I mean, I don't know if that is even a thing. So
right. Yeah. So it just sucks, and I couldn't find a load. It totally screwed up our entire week. I think we lost out on, I don't know, like $800 or $900 on that one. And then the other one he got there, it was somewhere out in Pennsylvania. They had accidentally given the HOTshot before us. They had a longer trailer. They gave them the load we were supposed to get and tried to throw their load on our trailer. And they were like, oh, it'll overhang a couple feet. It'll be fine. And
it would have overhang 5 feet.
Right.
They were trying to load it at an angle. They wanted to do some sketchy stuff, and I just told them no. And we were able to negotiate $500 in tonneau for that load. So
that was
don't be afraid to ask,
That was going to be a $1,500 load. I can't remember the company it was through, but the broker was really understanding about it. I could tell he genuinely felt bad for the situation. We explained to him that we're just starting out. We're a small company, and a $1,500 loss is a pretty big hit for us. So negotiating that $500 tonneau rate was definitely more than fair. So just be prepared for things like that to happen.
And that'll at least cover your fuel to get to your next pickup.
Yep, that's what we had to do.
Fuel's not cheap, so you want to at least get something for your time. Mm-hmm. Don't just let them off the hook if they mess up and it costs you a load. I mean, it's in your rights to get paid.
For sure.
Truck order not used, tonneau.
Yes. And then they typically won't pay it unless you've been tied up for at least 2 hours. There's been times where we've gotten tied up for like an hour and 45 minutes and they wouldn't do it. But, stuff happens. So just be prepared for it. Doesn't matter how prepared you are on your end, still outside forces will fart with your day.
Which leads us to our next discussion about tools to have in your truck. If you can work on your stuff, it's great. I mean, it saves you a ton of money. I always have my impact. It's a Milwaukee 1/2-inch impact, cordless. I keep 2 batteries. I keep the charger, like an extra charger in the truck and a charger at home. So it's always ready to go. I keep 3 sets of sockets, one of standard, one of metric, and then both deep well, and then one short well standard set, which wouldn't hurt to have a short metric as well. However, YouTube, it'll teach you a lot of things. You can find out problems with your vehicles pretty quick, and some things are pretty easy to work on, whereas others are not. Like my belt popped off yesterday. I was able to do it myself. I had to Uber to the store to get a new pulley because my tensioner pulley locked up on me, which caused the belt to bust. And it was a fight getting that bad boy off, but luckily having all the tools I had in the truck, like a socket set, a ratchet, a breaker bar. I always keep a 2-ton jack just in case. Extra fuses. Fuses are great. Blew a fuse too yesterday after the belt ripped off. It tore a cord off my AC compressor clutch, which caused it to short out a fuse, which caused my speedometer to go out. So luckily I had some extra fuses and was able to find where that wire got cut and tape it off, and was able to get back on the road within a few hours. I mean, still, a few hours sucks, but it saved us probably thousands of dollars realistically. I mean, I think I spent $60 on the pulley I needed and $40 on an Uber, so maybe $100. So that is what's keeping us rolling. I mean, comes down to that. And
this guy's all self-taught. Like, he's just learned all of this stuff himself. It's amazing.
The internet is a very useful tool. And now another thing I wanted to mention in this video is stuff to have in your truck before you take a load, because you don't want to get there and not have the right stuff to strap down or secure whatever you're hauling. Not only does it make you and your company look really bad, but it's just, you need it. It's part of this business to have these things. I started with 2 chains and 2 binders, preferably 4 chains, 4 binders would be better, because there's a lot of things you could use 4 chains, especially if you're doing partials, and you can secure things better with 4 chains and 4 binders. At least one big tarp. I'd stick with heavy duty vinyl tarps. They're expensive. I mean, I think the one I have is $400. It's a 26 footer with 26 by 24. So it can cover an 8-foot drop up to, I believe, 26 feet. I mean, I have another smaller tarp if the whole load is 25 foot and has an 8-inch drop, but I haven't dealt with anything that big. This has been able to cover everything I've hauled with my 25-foot trailer so far, and I've had plenty of extra room if we have partials or anything with it. And you can always get smaller tarps that are easier to manage as you expand your business, get more money. I would recommend at least 6 2-inch ratchet straps. I like the ones that can hold at least 3,333 pounds because they're solid. And some edge protectors for those is a good investment, because those straps get expensive quick, and you will go through them quick if you don't have protective gear like those little edge protectors. And don't be afraid to over-secure your loads. If you're not sure, I mean, overdoing it is better than underdoing it for sure. Just be safe out there. Distribute the weight, between your rear axles and your trailer axles. That makes handling so much better. And watch some videos. If you're not sure, and as long as you know what you're getting ready to go pick up, watch a video. It'll make you look better. If nothing else, you'll have an idea of what you're getting into. And don't be afraid to ask people there the best way to secure a load, because they know. I mean, 90% of the time they see the same things shipping out all day, every day, and they might have a trick that you just didn't think of, or there might be a tie-on point that you didn't realize was there. Stuff like that'll all make your life easier.
Also, this stuff, the price of it can add up and seem overwhelming, but you have to think these are the things that are going to keep your business running well and running safely. You just have to bite the bullet and buy them. Like, how often do we buy straps?
Quite a bit.
Quite a bit.
But again, if you get those edge protectors, which
Mm-hmm.
I was cheap on originally and wasn't using, and that's why I had to buy more straps. Uh, if you take care of your stuff, it'll take care of you. And also, a lot of this stuff is just getting the business started. It's not like you're going to have to buy more chains and more binders unless you get more trucks and more trailers. However, for one truck, one trailer, you only need so many chains and binders. And once you have them, you don't have to keep buying them, you know? So a lot of these are one-time expenses. You just got to bite the bullet on. And don't go cheap. I mean, buy once, cry once. That's my philosophy, especially with these tarps. You don't want to mess with like a vinyl tarp or polyester tarp. I mean, you want a vinyl tarp. You want one of the vinyl PVC, really heavy duty, with tie down points all across it. They're expensive. They're heavy. I mean, they're 60 to 80 pounds, you know, but they're for this type of work. They have lumber tarps and machinery tarps and steel tarps. The one I got is kind of like a multi-purpose machinery steel tarp, but you could use it for lumber as well. And yeah, it wasn't cheap. It was about $400 with shipping and everything. And I mean, there's some places you pick them up too, but you'll need it. You'll use it a lot. It'll make you a lot of more money for sure.
Yes. So the third thing and last thing on our list to talk about tonight are just little things that I do that we've learned over time that really help him out a lot when he's on the road. One of those things is when he is driving, if I book a load, I'll call him first and I'll be like, oh my God, I booked a load for this much money, blah, blah, blah. And we get really excited. So when he's on the road, trying to use Siri to, I don't know.
She's great, but
yes, but sometimes she's not.
Yeah.
So I text him the pickup and drop off points. I try to organize it as best as I can. That way, all he has to do is click on it through his text messages and it'll pull it right up on maps. He doesn't have to spend extra time farting around with his phone searching for this address.
It saves a lot of time, and at the end of the day, it comes down to the wire quite a bit. You get stuck in traffic, you get stuck in elements beyond your control, and it's like, oh man, I got a 30-minute window for a 4-hour drive.
Plus,
and
you can't be typing in an address while you're driving.
Exactly. You don't want to be distracted. You know, you got to pull over to do these things, and that all adds up. That's all time that it takes to get where you're going.
Another thing I do is after I book a load and I've texted him the pickup and drop off addresses, I always like to shoot him a picture of the rate contract. Even though he has access to our email account, our business email account through his phone, it just takes up extra time. That way he's got it right there. When he pulls up to the facility, he has the load number and all of that jazz.
It really makes it much easier. I mean, I got a good dispatcher.
Oh. And then the last thing that I do that's really helpful for him. So if I know that he's going to be going to a congested area or if the address seems weird, always double check your pickup and drop off addresses. I like to punch those into Google Maps and do the satellite view just to make sure he's got enough room to get in and out of places. Maybe the place has a super long driveway or something and it's easily missed. And I just relay that information for him.
Sometimes you're in downtown, you got very tight quarters, you know, a lot of one-ways, and for example, there was one load, it was in downtown Philadelphia. It was a construction site where they were working on a road, and it was basically down an alley, and fortunately, you know, we did our homework and knew what we were getting into, because we had to basically shut down traffic to get into this spot, and had we not been prepared for that, upon getting there, it could have been a real mess. I mean, we could have got stuck, got a ticket. I don't even know. I don't even like to think about it. It's better to be extra prepared than
right.
unprepared.
It also helps, especially to Google Map, that satellite view, if you have an inkling that maybe you're not delivering this load to a business but to a residential area instead. They don't have places for big trucks and trailers to park 99% of the time, so it's good to kind of form a plan. Maybe there's, what did you deliver that
and keep in contact with your co-signee as well. Call ahead, because sometimes they'll have specific directions for it.
Yes.
Especially if it's residential. I mean, you want to know where they want it so you can get it unloaded. There's been times where the address on the Raycon is not their shop that they wanted it delivered to. And I mean, if you talk to them ahead of time, this isn't an issue. But however, you pull up to the address, you didn't talk to them, they're not ready to be unloaded. You're ready to be unloaded. They're not ready to unload you. It can become stressful really quick, especially if you're on a time crunch and trying to get to the next spot. So you always want to have them expecting you. That helps a lot.
There was one time where, this is why it's so important to double check these addresses, because one time on the rate contract it said street instead of road. So like instead of North Avenue, right? Yeah. Instead of North Avenue on the rate contract, it was North Street. And it took him to a completely different part of town. In
downtown Pittsburgh.
Yes.
And it was
a nightmare.
Squeeze for a 25-foot trailer. It was
and
not
that was,
time.
So there you have it. Just make sure you double check everything on that rate contract, addresses, everything.
These are some simple mistakes to make, but we made them, and hopefully you can prevent making them from our mistakes.
So just be as prepared as you can be on your end. That way you have a better chance to fight off the craziness that you can't control around you. All right.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm super excited that my husband got to join me for this video, and I hope that it was helpful for some of you out there that are just getting started. Once again, feel free to leave comments, and till next time.
All right, stay safe out there, guys.
Bye. Have loads of fun.